Hello and welcome, my friends, to FF Lifestyle. In today's video, we are going to be doing a random review on my brand new Trek Rosco 7. The title isn't even a lie. It's just exactly what happened, which is I returned my Specialized stump jumper that you guys saw me unbox on this channel, got a full refund from Cycle Limited, and purchased a hardtail instead. And I'm going to be going over exactly my experiences. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, how these random reviews work, think of it like an Amazon review. You're not assuming that that person giving the stars on Amazon is somebody that's an expert about the product. That's exactly how this review is for me. Usually, when you go to a mountain biking channel, or in my case of things, a gun channel, you're going to see kind of somebody that may or may not have biases, right, when it comes to the products. For me, this is my first mountain bike, so this is as genuine as it could possibly get, and I did pay full retail at a local bike shop for this bike. What happened with the Specialized stump jumper? Cycle Limited was working with me, but the rear shock, the suspension on the bike, was done. It needed to be rebuilt. Back and forth, back and forth. This was out of box. Was it from shipping? Was it from Cycle Limited? I don't know. I sent the shock off, which was an Öhlins shock, to get repaired at a local bike shop. They rebuilt it, sent it back to me. It was still not working. This went on for about a month and a half that I was having issues, couldn't even ride the bike. Finally, I filled the shock up, rode it for the first ride around the neighborhood, and lo and behold, the next morning the shock was once again dead. This was confirmed by a bike shop that it was the shock. It was not me doing something improperly. And I told Cycle Limited, I'm like, you guys got a 14-day money-back guarantee. I want the money back. This is not at all what I wanted. That was a $1,900 bike, carbon fiber frame. The entire time, I was kind of telling myself, like, I'm planning on doing this once a week. I'm a beginner. Everyone's telling me not to get a hardtail. And if you go online, no hardtail. Hardtails are the worst. You're an idiot if you buy a hardtail. If you're not spending $4,000 on a bike, or finding a $5,000 bike for use somewhere, you're not even going to be able to ride. And let me tell you, I finally listened to my gut, and I'm like, I'm just going to get a hardtail. If it ends up being awful, maybe this just isn't the sport for me, because this is all just ridiculous. I looked up some reviews, and I was like, okay, the Trek Rosco 7 seems to be pretty good. I'm kind of interested in that. Didn't really want this color, but I guess these are actually getting possibly discontinued, and there's all these big things going on with Trek and people being frustrated. But I found this at my local bike shop. I think it was like Green Mountain Cyclery, something along those lines, for $1,200. It was $11.99, brand spanking new, with a medium/large frame. I looked on Trek's website, and these bikes were coming in at like $1,600. So I was like, yes, absolutely, I'll do that. And with the refund, I actually got some money back in the return. And I had no idea what to expect. I went on the first 2 rides with this bike, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, we got nothing but technical terrain here in Pennsylvania. You're a beginner. The Specialized bike I was borrowing had full suspension and was everything that a $4,000, $5,000 mountain bike should be, and I felt like I was floating on the terrain. This bike is going to be trash, right? It's going to be garbage. It's a hardtail, so I'm not even going to be able to ride this in Pennsylvania. And guess what? The past 2 runs were awesome. I started doing drops. I'm kind of playing around with bunny hopping the bike. I feel my speed going up. And is it the same as a full suspension bike? No, for sure. But I got to be honest with you, I feel like I was actually beginning to build bad habits as a beginner right out of the gate with a full suspension bike that I immediately found out with a hardtail. And that was the fact that I was not really paying attention to my line, because the full suspension just glides over everything. And I get on the hardtail, and maybe 2 to 3 times I got bucked off the bike by hitting a rock that I really wasn't paying attention to. And after the second day, I started choosing my line appropriately, and I gained so much more confidence with the hardtail because I knew the line that I was choosing was the appropriate line to go with. And I don't know if that's the case for everybody, but at least for me, I just threw it all out the window. And I'm like, I'm going to go with the hardtail at first and just see. And I don't know, I honestly love this bike. I absolutely love it. And this may not be real at all because I'm not a mountain biker, right? This is just a general guy's review. When I saw the amount of maintenance involved with a full suspension bike, I didn't want anything to do with it. I got stuff, hobbies, things to do that are full of maintenance, okay? Full of maintenance. I didn't want an additional reservicing every year, 6 months, every couple of rides, and then ultimately 4 or 5 years later, your entire shock's gonna have to get rebuilt. You might have to get a new shock, $400, $500, $700, spend another $1,000 for this like maybe fraction of a minute change in your riding experience. I don't want to do it with mountain biking. I just want to get a bike. This is still going to need maintenance, without a doubt. But what I wanted was a bike to grab, throw in the back of my truck, and just ride. Not worry about what sag I have, what air I have. I didn't want to worry about any of it. I just want a bike to ride. That's it. Once a week, get my skills up, right? And that's all. And this bike knocked off every little bit of those things that I wanted to have. As far as features, it has the RockShox front fork. I mean, I'll post the website listing of this bike so you guys can see all the features. I was under the impression that these race face cranks, or crank arm, whatever the hell it's called, is an upgrade that is normally not on there. I did put the Rock Bro pedals on there additionally. This does have a dropper post, and that's one feature that was a non-negotiable for me. Coming from the dropper post experiences that I had on all of the other mountain bikes I was borrowing and the stump jumper that I had, I just wanted to have it. And I knew if I went with a hardtail that didn't have it, I would essentially be spending the money and trying to figure out how to add it immediately after. So the fact that this had one right out the gate was excellent. I want to say in comparison to the stump jumper, this is about 1.3 pounds heavier. So I get it, that was a carbon fiber frame, but I think I can get over the 1.3 extra pounds on the trail. And because it's a hardtail, your climbs, everyone was saying, feel a little better, and that is the case here. You absolutely do feel the trail more. You feel the bumps a lot more, but that RockShox front fork does a great job, and it also has a lockout feature. So if you don't want to have that at all, you can do that. The brakes are upgraded on this, and it does feature 29s for the wheels. As far as the other like tire stuff, these are tubeless ready tires, but I don't believe they're tubeless right now. And they are 29 by 2.6. So, you know, for all you people out there that are mountain bikers, you're going to know more as to what that all means. I had no issues shifting gears on this, were excellent. I'm still learning that, so it takes me some time. But I think for a first bike, this thing is freaking excellent. I have no complaints about it. It's awesome. I really, really enjoy this bike. And I'm so sad to hear that Trek is discontinuing the Rosco 7, because I think if you're looking for a hardtail, like, I don't know that it gets much better than this hardtail. The one thing that I did notice about this is the grips on the handlebars were slipping a little bit. Like when I was bunny hopping or getting any sort of air or turning aggressively, I felt them kind of wanting to slip out. So I don't know how easy that is to switch out, or if that's a common complaint with every bike, but that was my experience right out the gate. I've seen a lot of that in the gun community as well, where everyone's like, look, especially the night vision community, like if you don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars, just don't even do it. But at the end of the day, it's the skill that you're learning. And if you don't learn the skill at all, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on the bike, you're just not going to be that great at it, right? It just kind of depends. But the reality of it is these guys that started mountain biking were on like cruisers back in the 70s. And no, I wouldn't want to do mountain biking with a cruiser. I don't think that it is something that you're not even going to be able to do if you get a hardtail. And for me, I love the fact that there's less maintenance. I love the fact that I know it's going to be good in the rear portion of the bike. And I really, really am enjoying it so far. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this unbiased, random, and honest review of the Trek Rosco 7. Let me know what else you guys want to see on the channel, and stay tuned for more great content coming soon.